Hello and welcome to our program Where God Weeps, a program where we talk about the situation of the suffering church around the world. Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation, with 160 million, of which 25 million are Catholic. Thus, Nigeria is Africa's most Catholic country. The joy of the flowering of the faith and the growth in vocations is and has been somewhat offset by inter-ethnic violence between the mainly Christian South and Muslim North. Most recently, a radical Islamist group, Boko Haram, has set off attacks against government institutions and some churches. To tell us more about this joy of faith and yet some of the shadows in Nigeria, it is my great privilege to welcome His Excellency Felix Job, the Archbishop of Ibadan, Nigeria, and the President of the Nigerian Bishops Conference. Your Excellency, thank you for being with us here today on our program.
It is my pleasure.
Your Excellency, you were ordained at the tender age of 33, after being a priest for only 5 years.
That is true.
And was it a surprise I imagine it must have been a bit of a shock for you to be asked to be a bishop already at the age of 33?
In fact, I rejected the appointment. And for 1.5 months, I wrote rejecting it.
You said
Pope Paul VI rejected my rejection letter. And so I said, I know my canon law. I refused to accept until so many people, the bishops came coming to talk to me, to persuade me. So after about 1.5 months, I accepted. So it is not an easy task. I knew it.
If I can ask you just, what is it that you would have said, you're now 74 years old.
Yes.
What is it that you would have said has been the greatest characteristic of your being a bishop, of being archbishop?
When you ask a bishop, what is the most interesting or most challenging period of his life, I do not know if any bishop can say exactly what it is. Because it is a daily carrying of your cross, but carrying with joy as long as you accept. That is my own policy. That is my own spirit. As long as I accepted, I've tried to give it the maximum that I can. And yes, there is sorrow in it because you are criticized by everybody, whether you like it or not. Many of them will not say it to you. You should have said this thing like this. You should have said, because anybody in authority has to be prepared for that. But there is joy in it too. When I became a bishop, there were only 2 diocesan priests in my diocese. But today, by the grace of God, there are now 87. So what joy. I mean, again, I have trained so many seminarians, both for my diocese and for other dioceses, and some of them have become bishops, some of them have become archbishops. What greater joy could I have? And there were only 8 parishes in my diocese when I became bishop, took over from my predecessor in 1974. By the grace of God, there are 32 in the city of Ibadan. What else? Thanks be to God.
It's a joy.
Yes, it's a joy.
Nigeria has 25 million Catholics out of a population of about 160 million, which makes it the largest Catholic population in Africa. What challenge does this bring pastorally? Well, let's say, what strength does this bring and what challenge does this bring?
Well, you know that of every 5 Africans, 1 is a Nigerian. So if we have 25 million, it's not enough.
Not yet.
Not yet enough. That is the greatest challenge. That each bishop looks at his diocese and sees the development. I know of one diocese that was 80 before parishes, now 135 parishes. I know so many that have been divided since I became bishop. Oh, split into so many places. But I know also of one diocese that has 3 states of the 36 states of Nigeria. 3 of them are within just one diocese. The challenge is the development of the faith and of the church.
Development in the sense of rooting, or the development in the sense of primary evangelization?
Primary evangelization and rooting, as you call it. The two have to go hand in hand. You have to feed the lamb. You have to feed the sheep.
Yes.
So you see, so we are developing. The church is really growing in Nigeria, and we thank God for that. After our civil war, 1970, we thought that the church would go down. Missionaries had to leave. But the Lord, in His wonders, brought in so many vocations that we have to be rejecting prospective priests and religious.
Somebody said there was something to the town of 11,000 seminarians. Can that be correct?
It is. In my regional major seminary in Ibadan, we had 400. And we said, this is too much. And we started another major seminary, All Saints.
So you have to reject candidates because of lack of space?
Exactly. Now, we have not even completed building that major seminary. Of 4 hostels, we have built only 1. Now, that one, which was started in 1994, that one has now 300 plus, that we have started another major seminary.
Your Excellency, what is it? What is it in the hearts of the Nigerian people that makes them so open to the Word of God and so open to this explosive growth of the Catholic Church?
You know that it is growing, one, because the Lord is multiplying. We are not the ones. It is the Lord who is multiplying His followers. He said, pray the Lord of the harvest to send more laborers into His harvest. So He is sending us more laborers. Number 2, the soul of the Nigerian is receptive of God. You will see children from rich families abandoning their prospects to become priests or religious. The same thing from poor families. Areas that you think will not imbibe the spirit of sacrifice to reject family life, and they will come. In fact, let me tell you the truth. I was rector of the minor seminary, which is a regional minor seminary, from 1969 until I was made a bishop in 1971, and I remained director until 1974. I have seen God's marvelous works among the young ones that you think will not make it, making it and being a credit to their vocation. And those you think will make it, some of them abandoning and going away. Then you see that it is not because they are sent in by their parents, it's not because of poverty or anything like that, but it is because God has called them.
I want to turn now to a greater challenge, a challenge that exists in a larger society, which is the fact of inter-religious, inter-ethnic violence that over the last decade has claimed the lives of about 3,000 people. And more recently, the question of this Islamist extremist group called Boko Haram. Boko Haram, which has attacked government institutions as well as churches. My question to you, what is Boko Haram, and what is their intent of this radical group, if you will?
Well, human beings are human beings all over the world. Nigeria has our own share, just as every other place. It is a mixture of ethnicity and the ethnicity and, of course, politics.
Power.
Politics. People seeking to have power. And they always have people to use, not their own children. Children of other people is most unfortunate. But you say, what is Boko Haram? Boko Haram is not the only group in Nigeria, but they are the most prominent now. We had before those from the Delta who took up arms to defend their fatherland, that those who are prospecting crude oil are not putting much of it, of the money, into the land. They had to take up arms to get the government to do something.
But this seemed to be more of a justified question in terms of justice, if you will, whereas the Boko Haram seems to be, it's not clear what their political aims are.
This is a group, a sect of the Muslim religion in Nigeria. It is true, they were trained outside Nigeria. They are supported from outside Nigeria. And we are told that some people are also supporting them for political reasons in Nigeria.
The name comes, I think, from Hausa, which means Western education is
not to be accepted.
Not to be accepted.
Yes. This group surfaced really about 5 years ago. But they were underground. 2 years now, they have come prominent, particularly since last year, when we had our national election. It is said that some politicians said if they will not be elected, then they will make the nation ungovernable for the world. It is said that they are supported by some northern groups. And when we say northern groups, you see, immediately you say they are Muslims. But they're not all Muslims.
Yes. It's curious because you mentioned, which I would like to come back to earlier, the question of exterior support to this group. But the group, it seems to be, the majority of Muslims are in the north, and the attacks have been in the north. So the majority of the people that have been injured are, in fact, Muslim.
Exactly. That is why some media quoting that it is religious war are totally wrong. Muslims, even what is for a taboo in our country, for these people to attack the house of the emir, to give even warning to the head of all the Muslims in Africa, the Sultan of Sokoto. It is a taboo. Therefore, it is not religious war.
But then what is it?
It is political. The basic thing is that it is motivated by politics. Those who want power.
To destabilize
the government.
And what would be the interest from outside? I mean, Nigeria is an important country. It's the most populous country in Africa. It is a wealthy country.
What would be the interest? In Great Britain, one citizen was charged to court of recent. For doing what? For selling arms to Nigeria. Money.
Okay.
Money is it.
But they are using religion. They are attacking Catholic churches, particularly.
No, please take it easy.
All right.
Take it easy. Stop propagating this media war. It is the media saying that they are attacking Christians, not just Catholics. Now, when that started in Jos, the Archbishop of Jos insisted that this is more ethnic than religious. It's only, the unfortunate thing is that those who are attacked are more Christian. Those who attack are Muslims.
Okay.
But it is because of their cattle.
It's the landed, it's the herders versus the farmers, the landed.
Yes. People coming from one part of the country, settling in another part of the country, no matter what religion they practice. But the fact that this one says, this is my fatherland, you can't move beyond that. And those ones saying, we are citizens of this nation. So let us understand it better. It's more ethnic than religious. Then, these other people that constitute Boko Haram, there are confused stories about them. We hope by the grace of God we will get the full history of this group because their spokesman has been arrested. The leader had died. Even our president acknowledged that they have supporters from inside his own government. Let us wait.
Although even you asked on the government, you called on the government to bring in forces from outside because you questioned whether the present government, the present situation was strong enough to manage and whether it wouldn't be wiser to bring in support security in order to stabilize.
All of us are saying that we should not continue to have this bloodshed. And so I called on government not to wait only on the forces that it has, security forces. That I did challenge the government that this is not between tribes and churches and religion. It is this group challenging the government, daring the government. You imagine, except bombing the headquarters of our police, that's going on to attack UN office, going on to bomb places of innocent people, men and women and children. That is an attack on the sovereignty of the nation. And if that is the case, I called on the government to recruit experts that they have that are retired, because we have many of them who have been trained in this way. And that even if those ones are not enough so that we can do this thing fast and put an end to this insurgency, I said they should call on other nations to help so that we can finish the Boko Haram problem quickly and not spread bloodshed.
Yes. Then, if we are, because we want to get this right, we read in the Western press attack against Christians. We read a bombing of a church. And so naturally there is this, as we've spoken, a natural association, Christian-Muslim, right? Yeah. Now we want to separate this. We want to understand this clearly, that in fact we're talking about politics. We're talking about power. It's not a Christian-Muslim issue. Is that correct?
Yes, it is not.
It is not.
It is not Christians against Muslims.
The reason I'm asking is because Archbishop John Oniyakon, the Archbishop of Abuja, stated, the extremists are a challenge to all Nigerians, and especially the Nigerian Muslim community. I am a man of peace and dialogue. I always tell my Muslim friends that they should isolate the extremists that are present in their communities. So Archbishop John is suggesting that there is something that also needs to be reconciled between the Muslim and Christian communities with regard to these extremist groups.
Yes, because public foreign media continues to hammer on religion. Yes, Christ taught us not to hit back at our enemies. He even said we should do good to them. And the same with the church's teaching. That is why he said it. And we have all been doing that. We have what we call NIREC.
What is NIREC?
NIREC is inter-religious dialogue. The government, federal government, started it. Leaders of Muslims, leaders of Christian groups, all of us meet regularly. And Archbishop Onayeka and all of us have been saying it is time. These people are claiming to be Muslims. Muslim leaders cannot keep quiet because others will understand wrongly that it is because of Islam that they are fighting, whereas it is not because of Islam. That is where we are saying, let's get together and begin to talk.
And is it happening?
It is now happening.
Is this crisis provoking a greater dialogue between the Muslim and the Christian leaders?
If you followed the news,
Yes.
that Christmas Day bombing, all the Muslim leaders, government authorities visited the church and spoke to the people. And it has yielded something positive in Kano State. That when Christians are praying, Muslims surround to see that nothing happens to them. When Muslims are praying, the same thing. Christians come around to support them, to be security around them, because this group does not respect any religious group.
Archbishop Onioken also stated that the Bible can be a source of dialogue between the Muslim and the Christian community.
Yes, because
how can the Bible?
The two books, people of the two books have it that they should dialogue. And the challenge to the Muslim leaders is to say, if you do not speak, the whole world will think that you are supporting these men. So
yes. They have to stand up.
Have to.
Your Excellency, we've spoken about the good news in Nigeria, the growth of the church.
Yes.
We've spoken about some of the challenges through these extremist groups. What would you say is your hope for Nigeria? You've seen so much in your lifetime, 41 years as a bishop. What is your hope for your country?
My hope, first and foremost, is that the faith, the Catholic faith, will increase. That Catholics will develop in their faith, be mature, and give back to the church what they have received. That is full development, integral development of faith and of practice. That they will learn more of their religion to be able to stand up and speak for the faith that has been given to them. That they too will learn to give as other Christians are giving for the development of the church, both social and religious development. It is my hope that our agents of evangelization, our catechists, our religious men and women, our priests, will not follow the wind of the times, but read the signs of the time. You know, it is very difficult to gather heads together.
A quick question.
Yes.
Why do you make the distinction between the winds of time and the signs of the times? What do you mean by that?
The signs of the times are the positive ones. The winds of the time are the negative ones. Materialism is a part of the wind of the time.
Secularization.
Secularization is another. Because there is materialism even where people are poor, when they do not remember their neighbors. But the signs of the time is to see that we are not going to follow all these things. When the Lord said, you are in the world, but not of the world, that is what I mean by reading the signs of the time. Also, when he told us that scandals must need come, but woe betide the person through whom it comes. It were better if he were not born. These are the things we must continue to check ourselves upon, lest we will go the wrong way. The wind of the time will drive us away from seeing the truth and following the truth.
Like dust in the eyes.
Yes. Again, my hope for Nigeria is that the country will appreciate the goods God has given to us and make good use of it. At the moment, we are wasting our resources. Individuals are grabbing and grabbing. My hope for Nigeria is that our government officials, our leaders, will see leadership as a service, not a position.
Yeah, a privilege, exactly.
Position, just grabbing. No, that they will see leadership, both in the church and in the state, that we will see leadership as a call to service, a call by God, a call that we should follow, a call that will benefit all of us.
Your Excellency, much to do, but much hope.
Yes, because the Lord is alive.
Thanks.
And He's in control.
Thanks be to God.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having been with us today in our program, Where God Weeps. And if you'd like to know more about the situation of Catholics in Nigeria, or perhaps how you might be able to help, I would encourage you to look at the contact information at the end of this program. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.